For those of you who are on, just exactly on the hour here, if you could let me know if you can hear me. I always like to test that out before the angels are speaking. Thanks. You could just make a note in the chat if you could hear me, please. Great, thank you. It's fun. There's this delay here between when I speak and when you can hear it, and then I don't know if there's a delay for the chat getting back, but it's kind of amazing with technologies we have now that feels so slow. But there's a 5 or 10 second delay for me to reach anywhere on the globe. Fun. Great, so let's dive in. It's the angel update for April 15th, 2023, and my name is Adria Estribou, and I'm a conscious channel of Angels Ariel and Raphael. If you're just tuning in for the first or the 100th time, welcome. The angels love to have you here, and they're probably going to speak directly to your soul. So at any time you can type questions in the chat, and I'll put on my reading glasses occasionally during the broadcast today and check for questions. Okay, feels like they're ready. So the angels will let you know who's speaking. This is Angel Raphael. Yeah, so many updates here. The energy is very, very alive. Some of you are feeling this sense of suddenly what was a drip is now drinking from the fire hose, right? It's all those things you've been wanting, energetic connections, perhaps wishes fulfilled, demands on your time and energy, but not negative necessarily, but so many all at once. So yes, that is the energetic right now. So how to sit with this, we would say, is enjoy the abundance of it. Notice, oh wow, feel the energy of this. And don't worry so much about needing to catch every drop. If you were under a waterfall instead of under a dripping tap, you could just enjoy the immense energy of what's coming through. Nothing's going to be lost here. Some of you are worried about missing some of the pieces or details because the energy is so fast coming in. But trust yourself and your knowing when to pivot a little over here, a little over here to catch what's coming through and to prioritize your own energetics in this. Very, very lively time. For some of you in some parts of the world, it's coincident here with spring, so the bursting forth of life. For some of you, it's coincident with other weather, but it is globally here a time of great energetics. And not to be disturbed, please, by the contrast here. So enjoy if you can, or just notice, oh wow, this is different than it was a month ago when the angels were saying, you're so tired you can just lay down and receive our light. So yes, a different time of forward movement, absolutely. So all systems go. If there are things that you had been hashing out, planning, daydreaming in the last 4 months, this is the time when you make the phone call, you send the email, you press play on the broadcast, press record on the message, whatever it is. It's the time of sharing and moving forward with your delights, your dreams. It's not that it's one way from you, but we do want to suggest that if there's anything you're holding back, it's time to let go of those constraints upon yourself, because things in your energetics moving out from you are going to be very, very well received right now. So it's a good time for letting loose with your joy, your energy, your ideas, your outreach to people, putting yourself in perhaps crowds or scenarios where there might be likelihood to meet someone new. There is so much aliveness right now that it's a beautiful portent time to do that right now. Put yourself in the way of these energies because they are thriving, alive ones. So when we spoke in the recent play shop about co-creation, you having maybe 90%, you're the seed planter, and then there's the energetics of those around you. The universal energies right now are offering you all the very, very good nutrients for seeds you're planting. So if there are things you've been holding off on, just don't wait for perfection from you or to feel a little less tired or busy. Just throw things out there. We'd say you're going to see very positive response right now. So time of holding back is done. And the same tool of being present will assist in any case, but we'd say worry less about needing to have the perfect timing, catch everything that's coming through. Just be in that energetic, which means when the energetic is very alive, you're also very alive. You're perhaps saying more than usual, thinking more than usual, in terms of output, putting out perhaps more work or more creative impulse or more friendship time, things like that. So ride in this energetic wave because it is the time of what you put out into the universe is so well received right now, so well received in terms of timing, synchronicities, just a very, very favorable time, regardless of where you are in the world, what your astrological sign, what your human design, what your rising or moon signs are. All people right now are really in an energetic that is uncommonly beneficent, right? Like the world is smiling at you right now. So some of you had that strategy when you wanted something from parents or teacher or friend. You wait until they're in a good mood and then you ask them, right? So the universe is in a very good mood. Ask it. Ask it for what you, frivolous things you want, the big, big heart wishes, the stumbling blocks you want to get over. The universe is in a very good mood. So you can ask for those things. This is Adria. So we're going to pause here for a moment from the channeling in case people want to type any questions in the chat. And in the meantime, I want to give a little update on what's going on with angel offerings because there have been a lot of changes in the last couple months. And someone had asked me, could you just describe for me what are these different things? So I'm going to attempt to do that now because I have a better sense after having lived through this with the angels for a couple months what these different offerings are. So the play shops that are once a month, first Saturday, tend to be more about concepts and information and tools about the big shifts we're going through for New Earth and particularly what's available to us right now. What are the meditations, or I just call them tools because they're kind of wide-ranging things you can really practice on your own. So those are the play shops. I just put one up a few minutes ago from April that was called Restructuring Your Universe, and that was pretty wild. Essentially, was also broadcast during a huge windstorm where I am, which was very on topic. You can't hear the wind in the broadcast, so it's not too annoying, but the energy is there, the wild wind, I think. So how do you create when it's no longer the same tools of creation, the scaffolding, the bricks and mortar, all that structural stuff, the way we're used to creating in prior decades just doesn't apply anymore. So the angels went into a lot of in-depth topics along those lines. And then 2 other Saturdays a month, the angels are giving what's called transmissions, and those tend to be more like meditations or receiving tools. Not always. This one last week was also a tool that was a little more learning about concepts at the same time, which was how to speak to your soul, to find out your soul's wish, which I just am still doing little cartwheels around because it was so fun. I love getting input from all these different sources, angels of course, but our intuitive knowings of different kinds, different guides, and now having this glimpse into what it's like to talk to the soul about your plans for this lifetime, and are you on track, or which things coming up feel like they're really important to the soul or doesn't really matter. Or are you going off track? Really, really fun. So for me, I'd say there's the volume is way up in terms of what's coming through, and there's still these angel updates once a month through YouTube Live are pretty much the same. They've gotten a little shorter, but from an hour to a half hour of kind of what's up now. And so now there's something every Saturday from the angels. And I'm finding that it's very, very timely. Even though the angels give the topics maybe 6 weeks before, it's lining up really timely with when we're really tired or super energized. How do we best help ourselves through this time and open up our tool chest of all the fun stuff at the right moment. So I'm pretty low tech. I'm not doing social media these days. So if you want to catch up on any of that, either go to the website, adriaestribou.love, or if you sign up for my email list, that's probably the most current way to stay in tune with what's on offer. Okay, that was me speaking quite a lot. And there's still no questions in the chat, so we'll see what the angels want to say next. This is Angel Raphael. Yes, in many senses, because the world change is so large here that you're in, humankind, many of these offerings will be evergreen. 10 years from now might still feel very applicable, because in the world will still feel new. 10 years old world. And yet there are these currents of pockets within what we're calling the chaos field of this year, where it can be helpful to know, is this just me, or is this really in the wider field of energies now? And if it's in the wider field of energies, what do I do about it, so that you don't ever have to feel confused or victim of the energies around? We love you to feel empowered to make the most use of times of rest, times of death of old identities, times of planting new seeds, as we've said, this time is now. So we do like to ride with you, very, very present moment energetics, so that you can live your widest self. But you don't have to. You know yourself best, right? You don't have to stay in pinpoint time with the angel transmissions or anything like this. You'll know when it's your time to receive that. So trust your own knowing about timing as well. This is Angel Ariel. So very, very lovely to notice in this month, let's say, because we've had prior months that have felt like riding a wave that was not so pleasant. Very, very nice to notice that rapid change can feel this exhilarated. The chaos that we have promised for this year is not all destructive energies or crashing into asteroids, right? We mean that as a metaphor, because we often speak of this time as a little bit like zooming through an asteroid field, right? But that's metaphorically speaking. There's no asteroid coming to collide with Earth. For those of you who are literal, we want to say that. So it's nice to notice the fluctuating energies, the almost hall of mirrors sense sometimes of how the world is bending and shaping, and your new roles in this can also feel very, very exhilarant. So this is one of those times to catch the wave of play or productivity, or receiving a little more than you can carry all at once. Just go with it. Go with it. It's a lovely balance. And you'll be in this current for a little while here, so you can relax from that sense of the echoing empty chamber of death. You know, it felt like all of these deaths of identity. It felt quite still there for a little while. And that was good, a good way to release and be present in that energies as well. But now it's the time of planting seeds, so go for it. Embrace this other aspect of change, of rolling with, steamrolling with. You won't get squished under the steamroller. You're riding the steamroller, all right? It just means nothing's in your path. Nothing's in your path that's going to keep you from moving now. This is a time of very, very forceful movement. Again, positively forceful, like waterfall, like fire hose of water. You're just receiving and flowing through with a lot right now. So you're not in danger from the volume of these energies. It's not disruptive in the sense that it's really not too much for you. If you catch the mind saying, I can't possibly address all that's coming my way today, check yourself, check what the heart knows. Is that true, or is that based on some comparison with me in the past, even me a month ago? Right now in the heart, what is? So you can ride this strong, strong current that way as well. Not worrying so much what's the next bump, what's the next wave of water, but right this second, just feel the exhilaration and dive into whatever is the next best thing that you want to embrace. This is Raphael. One of the things we had recommended recently to the group is to have a to-do list that it feels more like a floating chamber or a whiteboard if you need it to be in flat space, but not so much a timeline list. If you hem yourself into schedules that are very exact in the next month, you might feel the burn of all of this energy. Because if you have down that 7 to 9 a.m. is this activity and 9 to 9:30 is this activity, but you wake up and you clearly are in the mood energetically for your 3 p.m. activity, do that, please. As much as you can. We do understand sometimes you have appointments with others or deadlines that have to be met. However, there's generally quite a lot of flexibility, even in an office day. What email you open first or last, or what thing you're going to spend a half hour on or 3 hours on. So please really feel that. What is it that's most alive in me right now? That's the easiest way to go with these energies of too much, too fast. That's the negative view on this, right? Too much, too fast. So if you have it on a whiteboard or a piece of paper or something, draw it in a circle instead of a line, your to-do list, then it can feel a little more like, oh, which one am I plucking off right now? And instead of, oh no, I'm out of order and it feels overfull in my brain and it's impossible. So be a little fluid. You will find, in fact, more than you planned gets done or gets received in this time. You're not going to wipe out from this. But the fluidity of time is one of the ways to most gracefully ride the energetics of this. So you can have, when you're in your planning mode, your wish lists of, okay, I want to see all these people and get these things done, whatever it is about the activities, whether they're work or play related, and just have them there in a sort of floating list, so that when you feel that swing of energy after lunch is about oh, that activity is exactly what I feel like doing right now. Then you don't have to arm wrestle with your schedule. That could be best. So try to leave some fluidity there in terms of time-based. Time is one of the structures that's more closely aligned with the old earth, so though it's still available here, find if you're less wedded to it in a calendar sense, the fear will lessen around the high volume of energies right now. Because if you look back on the day or the hour, you'll see how much did get received or shared through you, and how it is possible to be keeping up with the energetics. The aliveness is also in you, right? You may be feeling a lot more energy than you did last year or a month ago this time. So trust that this gift of the universe in a good mood and on high volume, high energy is not coming at a time when you can't receive it. You're also matching that from your own energies. So this time the human self energies, the environment energies are very, very well matched. Okay, this is Adria. Not seeing any questions yet, which is also great. That's not required. But just going to pause here for a moment. Beautiful. So this is Raphael. To give an example of how much can occur in a shorter period of time, we'll end quite promptly today. We don't need to say the same thing over and over because you're eager to go out and receive, right? To ask the universe for those things while it's smiling. Good. So enjoy the sunshiny day, metaphorically speaking, of the universe here. You have some weeks, possibly months of this. Again, energies are fluid now, so we can't tell you an end date when the universe might go into a pouty mood, but it's not just this day. You have some weeks at least of this, so allow for that expansion in yourself to just meet up with and ride with and oscillate with this lovely, lovely high energy time. Whew. This is Adria. I just look forward to playing with all of you. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. And if you didn't get a chance to ask your question here, feel free to email me, especially with the volume of stuff coming through. I might be able to point you in the right direction of where the angels have been speaking about. Usually we have kind of topics in common or questions, so I might be able to point you to where someone else asked that question recently. So thank you so much. So much love to all of you. Oh, enjoy. I'm going to go enjoy this time of receiving and exploding with the energies. So much love to all of you.